because of all the vines, it is not falling as much as we'd like. Welcome out to another beautiful day on the farm. I actually just got back from my spring break with my family, and they hauled manure all last week. And it sounds like it was a doozy of a hauling session. Christopher and Trevor are over there right now loading up a tractor we're taking to an auction. I'm gonna walk down in the cellar and show you what we've got in the cellar. They've been taking them out. So you can see they are a ways back there now, which is great. So last week when they were hauling manure, everything decided to break. So we had 2 or 3 trucks break down. We had a bunch of chains break, and like they were constantly stopped checking, fixing trucks and stuff. So we had some issues, but we kept at least 4 trucks going. So that's good. But I'm gonna come down here in the cellar and kind of show you what we've got. Well, here's the pile. They have gotten quite a ways back in the cellar. I'm not sure how much is left, but because of all the vines, it is not falling as much as we'd like. Normally this just falls down, but it's kind of a steep wall. But last year it was even worse. We had to get the backhoe in here and actually dig it out, but it's getting there. We'll get it out. But the problem with this is the fact that they aren't actually taking these to the processor. So the processor is no longer taking potatoes from us for some reason. We don't really know why. So we have one cellar that they have been taking out that's down the road, and it's almost empty, and they've pulled all their equipment out, so they're not taking it out of there anymore. So we're actually just moving these potatoes over to that cellar, because this cellar is the one that we have to put all of our seed potatoes in, and we are getting those seed potatoes here in about a week. So we have to get this cellar empty so we can put seed in here. So instead of taking these to the plant, we're just moving them to another cellar, which is not great, but that's all we can really do right now. And we have 2 other cellars that also aren't holding super well, that we have to go put those in that cellar too. So we've got a few problems. We think everything will hold. We just have to move some stuff around, which isn't ideal because that all costs money. It costs money every time we have to move stuff. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any more rotten potato problems and everything holds until they get them out. So here's 2 of the trucks that broke, that were a little bit bigger breaks. This one, the PTO, actually got bent back and came unhooked from the truck. So Josh just washed this up. We have to push that back up, hook it back up to the truck, and then weld it all back together up here, because we figure something up on top broke. So, and then on this one, it got a chunk of concrete in it, and it busted a bearing block right here, and it shattered a sprocket. Like, it actually cracked the sprocket. So like this sprocket right here, it broke a whole chunk out of the sprocket because of the big chunk of concrete that was in it. So Josh is out here getting these cleaned up, getting them to where we can hopefully fix them, because they're all covered in manure, and we would actually like to not get covered in manure. So Josh is fixing those, and I'm gonna put a welder together that we just bought. Now here's the welder that we got. It's just in boxes, so I'm gonna put this together the easy way and just, there we go. That was so much easier. It just magically came out of the boxes and put itself all together. Pretty much had to put that together, had to put this all together. Should be a good welder. It's a Miller-Matic 255, has the auto set feature, which is nice for some of the people on the farm that don't know how to set the wire speed and the heat and everything, so it can just do all that by itself. I even got it loaded up with a roll of wire. The one thing we don't have, well, it doesn't really have anywhere to hook the wires or the leads, and still waiting on a plug. We don't have a plug for it, but that should be on its way. But it's all set up. We will be using it shortly because we have to weld up that number 18. We have to weld the PTO back on, so that'll be interesting. We've kind of decided that those 2 trucks, the we call it number 18 in our Western Star, the blue one, we may wait on those until after we're done hauling manure, because we don't need them. We have 4 trucks and we have a spare still, so we don't need those trucks. Right now they're all dripping with manure and they're really wet and gross. And what we have to fix requires getting underneath it and fixing where it's all wet and gross. So we may just let those dry out, and then after we're done hauling manure, probably while we're transloading our seed potatoes next week, we can get those fixed. But those might wait until they're not just dripping and nasty. So we'll see. So we're now in the process of mounting a pivot tire. We have this white truck out here that we also need to bring in and figure out how to weld up that PTO. But we have a couple pivots that are currently immobilized because one has a flat tire, and actually I think there's a couple that have flat tires, and then there's one that needs a gearbox. And since Christopher's planting wheat right now, he kind of needs to move the pivots out of the way so he can plant. So we're in the process of mounting up a tire. We have tubes to put in them, in those boxes, because you have to put tubes in them or they will leak. Unless they're a brand new rim, brand new tire, then you don't. But if you have an old rim like we do, you have to put tubes in them. So we're currently looking for, we have a whole bunch of like tire bars we're looking for to try and get them mounted easier. So that's what we're working on. Okay, well, we can't fix the gearbox. It's more broken than we thought. But this is the chunk of concrete that was in the back of this truck. So Trevor's gonna get it out of here. He's just gonna pull it out of the way. It's too heavy for any of us to lift. He'll just go push it off the hill or something. But that chunk of concrete wedged up in here, and we're pretty sure that's what broke everything. I don't even know how they get concrete in the manure, but we always find concrete in the manure. No idea how. So, but with this, the problem, we thought it was just loose, but there's a U-joint up here behind this frame that you might can see somewhere in there. But anyway, the U-joint that hooks the top, so there's a gearbox here and one at the top, and the U-joint that hooks the top is completely out. So we're gonna chain from here over to here and hold it. So hopefully we can at least get all the manure unloaded out of here, because it's almost unloaded. It's got a little bit in it, but if we turn it on right now, it's just gonna pop that back and come off and not work. So we're gonna try and get it all chained up so we can actually run it. I think we can get it unloaded at least, but yeah, we're gonna have to pull this whole bed off. Well, we got to pull the bed off next week anyway, because we're transloading seed potatoes, so we can't fix it till we pull the bed off. So when we pull the bed off, then we'll kind of work on it. We got another truck that we have to pull the bed off to work on. So yeah, just problem after problem with these manure trucks. Okay, I have been tasked with trying to get this thing unloaded, so I'm just backing out of the shop now. We're gonna drive over where we had, because we had one load of potatoes, one semi-load of potatoes out of this cellar that they've been taking out. They got rejected when they went through that rotten spot. So I'm going to go and pull up next to that load of rotten potatoes, and we will dump it out on the ground right there. I'm kind of leaving a trail of manure behind me because the door's up and the manure's right up against the beaters. So yeah, we'll see if we can't make a giant mess to drive through. It's always a bummer when we have trucks with big problems, but honestly, we had 7 trucks and there's still 5 of them running. We've had times where we're hauling manure where we start with 7 or 8 trucks, and by the time we're done, we only have 3. I think it was 2 years ago, we started with 7, and by the time we were done, we had 3 trucks. That's it. So it's kind of nice that there's at least 5 still running. So and one of them's a spare. So we have 4 running, 1 spare. So we only have 1 more week. We're gonna haul this week, and maybe not even the whole week. We only have 2 more fields to cover. Granted, it's probably about 200 acres. There's the pile of potatoes that was too rotten for them to take. They don't look too bad now that they've been outside, but I'm just gonna pull up right here next to them and dump this on the ground. Well, moment of truth. Is it gonna break? Maybe I'll check and make sure the chain stayed on while I drove out. Yep, the chain is still on there. So we're going to attempt to finish unloading this truck. Please don't break. Hey, it's going. Let's turn the let's turn it on. Floor chain is moving, and it is unloading the crap right onto the ground. All right, and it is very sloppy crap, but I don't want to rush it too hard. The problem with this truck and one of the other ones, whenever you turn the PTO on, it's like all of our older trucks, you turn the PTO on if you're in gear, it doesn't really start spinning until you start to move. But this truck, as soon as you touch that PTO button, doesn't matter if you're in gear or not, it kicks on at full speed. So because of that, we break a lot of bearings, chains, U-joints, everything that goes from the PTO clear back through everything just kicks on at full speed as soon as you turn that on. And it likes to just detonate. It just destroys everything. It's kind of a pain in the butt. We don't know how to fix it. If anybody has any ideas on how to make it not kick on at full speed, that would be great, because it's kind of a pain in the butt when that happens. So I'm gonna sit here and get this truck fully unloaded so we can clean it up and take the bed off another day when we're not as busy. Yeah, it's holding together. Barely, it's kind of wobbling around. You can see we've covered all that in manure. And then this is our lovely pile back here. Luckily the wind is blowing away, so I'm not gonna get covered. It looks like there's still a decent amount in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop back in the truck. Maybe I'll pull forward a little bit more so we don't pile it all in one spot. Oh, yummy. The last thing we have to do today is we have this little blue tractor that we bought, but it didn't have a roof on it. And since we put a roof on the other one, the green one that we got, we figured we might as well get a roof for this one too, so our pipe movers are happy. So we have a roof right here that we are going to put up here on the tractor, but it's just gonna be a lot of work, so we're just gonna make it easy and go like this. There, it's on, looks good. That was easy. It's the easiest way to do stuff, just snap it on. But looks fantastic. Should keep the rain and the sun off of the drivers, and it matches, same color. How often does that happen on the farm? Not very often. So we're gonna pull this thing out here, and that'll be the end of the day for us. I love this little tractor. The scraper blade's down. Such an awesome little tractor. It isn't spaced quite wide enough, but it's only 3 inches off, so it'll be 1.5 inches on each side, so we're just gonna let it go how it is. See how it scrapes up this manure. Ooh, that's nice. Cleans it right up. Black Venom Products makes a good scraper. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to go down below, comment RMF Club, and hit that like button to be in the RMF Club. And if you would, fill out the form down there too. It'll actually just put you on a list of RMF Club members. So when we do a giveaway, we'll have all your information. We can just send it right to you. We're gonna be picking one comment from every video and sending you some stickers if you comment RMF Club. So make sure you do that. Make sure if you haven't subscribed yet, that you hit the subscribe button. And I love you. I'll see you in the next one.